In the words of Rihanna,
Work, 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 work.
let's see you inside the lab.
Hey Rockstars, I'm JB, expert salesperson and master presenter.
I'm the doctor, psychologist, and behavioral expert.
This is the Entrepreneur Mastery Lab podcast.
Welcome to the Entrepreneur Mastery Lab podcast. It is the doctor, Dr. Andre Caruso, and today we are going to talk about work. But before we get into that, do owe me a favor. Hit all those little buttons, subscribe, follow, share, tell your friends. Exciting news coming inside the lab. We are going to be doing a rebranding coming in the beginning of the year because sometimes you just got to start fresh and kick it up a notch. So pay attention for that coming soon. In the meantime, we are hard at work. And we're going to talk a little bit about work today. Overwork in particular. So you may have heard me say the statistic once or twice. Stress is a killer. 90% of the people go to the hospital thinking they're having a heart attack or dealing with stress. In our world, a lot of that stress comes from, you guessed it, work. Talking a lot of business owners, a lot of professionals, a lot of entrepreneurs out there, and their biggest challenge is finding that balance and not getting overworked. And there's a fine line between working hard and getting a lot done and stressing yourself out and getting that overload. It takes a physical and mental toll. It will start to beat up your body. It will beat up your brain, kills your sleep. It's just a lot of very detrimental facts. And we know about that hustle culture that's out there. You've been beat up with it over and over and over again. Hustle, 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 hustle. 365, don't take a day off. But we know that doesn't work. That's why we hit you with the hustle 265. Make sure you're getting those days off. Make sure you're taking your breaks. But we need to think about this because we think we're doing a good thing. We think if we just keep working, things will get done. What turns to happen is that's how we get sick. Our body starts to fail us. Then we're taking more time off than we would have if we just added a little breaks in. Our business, it suffers. We're less sharp. We're not making good decisions. We're reacting instead of responding to situations. And we know that's when we get into trouble. So we really need to be careful about how we're doing those things. But also throw off your whole life, right? So how's your personal life? How's your family? How's your friends? Are you getting any time in with them? Are they being left out? Those are important relationships. We need community. We need people together. And if we're not taking time to attend to these things, everything kind of starts to fall apart. So there's a lot of consequences that happen when we get overworked. We don't want to get sick. We don't want to fall behind. Taking those breaks, resetting, refreshing does a great deal of work for your body and brain. So we need to manage that overwork. We need to make sure that we are taking those breaks and doing the things that we need to do. How are some other ways that we can help prevent some of this overwork? Time management. Are you taking real control of your time? Do you have a lot of wasted time in there? Are you doing things that you shouldn't be? Are you taking that break and then doing something that's also work related? I have some friends that are probably listening to this and feel like I'm calling them out. I am. You know who you are. We need to make sure that we are doing a better job of time management. We even created a course about that back in the day. Still available if you want. But that's how important we see your time management being. You have to be more productive using the time so that you don't feel overworked. The other thing, and one of my favorites, delegate that. Get someone else to do your work. You don't need to do everything, especially if it's not bringing you the real value that you need. Are you wasting? We know time is money, right? If your time is the one thing you can't get back and you're wasting it doing tasks that someone else could be doing for you and saving your energy and bandwidth for the things that you really need to do, that's one of the most important things. So don't be afraid to enlist help from others. Get some teamwork. Delegate to whoever you can, whenever you can. Probably one of the most in the things that people have the hardest time with, setting boundaries. Telling people no, feeling like you're letting someone down. You have to protect your space. You have to protect your well-being. And a lot of time that means setting some boundaries. A lot of times when I say that to people, they think it means you have to be mean or you have to shut someone down. You do not. You can absolutely set boundaries in a very positive way. You're just letting people know what they can and can't do for you or with you or get from you. The way I kind of think about this a lot of times is we basically train people how to treat us, right? So whatever expectation you set for someone is what they will do for you. And if you have zero boundaries, they'll have zero boundaries, and they will ask and take and do whatever they can, and not necessarily in a malicious way. There's no malice behind it. They're not really trying to take advantage of it. It's just this is what you've allowed from them to do. So they're just doing the expectation that you set. So if you set some good boundaries and you learn when to say no, when to say yes, and to let people know what to expect from you, they'll fall in line. No one's going to get mad about that. Some people might, but people are going to get mad or something about everything. So you don't worry about that. You just realize that setting those boundaries sets some good expectation, and it actually improves relationships. So then you're not getting mad at people that keep doing stuff because you told them to over time, and then you're just tired of it, but they're still just doing it the way you treated them. So set boundaries. And then the one thing that we all struggle with, metaphorical is just asking for help, seeking support, like finding that support community. It's been a big conversation around the professionals that fall into my circle when we're out networking, when we're hosting events, the conversations we have. It's like, I've kind of outgrown my friend group. I don't have the same kind of conversations. They're not entrepreneurs. They don't own businesses. They have different lives than I do. That's okay. It does not mean you have to get rid of those friends. That's the first thought we have. It's like, oh, I can't just be friends with them. Absolutely. We just redefine what those friendships are and what you need from certain people at certain times. But you also want to surround yourself with other people that do get it. So your support system doesn't have to be a one size fits all. You can have multiple support groups. And the conversation I was having with someone where she was really struggling with that is like, I don't like going out anymore because my friends don't understand and I want to talk business and they're not talking about that. And she felt like everything had to fit into one box. And what we know about that, we're not all the same. We don't like to keep things in a box. So what we reframed in that situation was, if you're going to go out with those friends, then you turn off for that night. That's the night you just kind of veg out. If you need a night of support where you want to actually talk about business, but you still want to do it in a more relaxed setting, then you have another friend group that understands that business, and you use those groups as you need. They're going to appreciate it because then you're not going to put them in a weird position of talking about things that they don't get. The other group's going to be looking forward to it because then they're going to be surrounded with like-minded people, and they also need that support. So you're creating these circles of areas, that these communities that fit the needs of the moment. We don't have to do a one size fit all and use the same kind of groups for every single thing. When I say use, we're not using it in a bad way. We're using it as a tool. Like these relationships, you guys might have heard me say this once or twice. And if you spend any time with me, you know what I'm going to say next. More than one thing is true at the same time. And when we keep that in mind, then we get benefit from things that also provide benefit. More than one thing is true. So when I say use it in a sense, we're using them as a tool to get some support that we need, but we're also providing that back to them in a way that they also need. So that's where you build those circles. You build your support teams to fit into the support you need at that moment. You delegate. You also want to make sure that you are setting boundaries. Remember, that's train people how they treat us. And go back to the very, very beginning, time management. If we do all these things, we start putting them into place, you're going to bring down that overwork to a much more manageable place. And you're actually going to get much more efficient. You're going to get a lot more done, a lot less stress, a lot more productive, make a lot more money, all the things that you want in your life. are a lot easier to attain if we're not overworking. We're just not our best self when we do. So as you know, we're always here to support. If you need anything, you reach out to JB and I. We are here for you. Slide into those DMs. We will definitely help you out, have a conversation, introduce you to people that might be able to help if we're not able to. Build those communities, build those support things. These are the things that you need to have around you at all times. It's good. Do it, please. In the meantime, look forward to the rebranding that we got coming up in the new year. Obviously, we got the end of the year fun review podcast coming up as well. Go into these holidays. We look forward to hearing from everybody. We hope everyone's having a great time. Don't forget to share, subscribe, like, and do all those fun things. You can find us at jbandthedoctor.com. The website also got a nice updated look, so you can check that out for us. And you can follow us on all social media at jbandthedoctor.com. See you soon. Peace out, yo.